wanna shine like the sun when it comes up. Run the city from the rooftops, 'cause today's gonna be my day. I just wanna climb to the top of a mountain.
From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Today's gonna be my day, it's gonna be my day, day. I just wanna shine like the sun when it comes up. Run the city from the rooftops, 'cause today's gonna be my day. I just wanna climb to the top of a mountain, stand tall when I'm howling, 'cause today's gonna be my day.
It's Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019, and it's the hurricane edition of the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me, hunkered down, under the table, cowering for our lives on the ones and twos, our illustrious brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, next in harm's way, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
Like in the flood zone of Gatorland, Florida, Eddie Big Cat Koffoltz.
I couldn't even fly a kite outside right now. That's
And-
how big it is.
High and dry and
Yes.
worry-free in Nashville,
Incredibly
Tennessee.
inland.
Watching
Our-
my daughter kick a soccer ball outside while she's not at school.
Speaker,
I was about to say, your kids don't go to
podcaster,
school. Hold on. Introduce me and then let's talk about
cowgirl
Eddie's kids
extraordinaire,
not going to school.
Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
Yeah.
Wait, Eddie, why are your children not at school?
Because they canceled school.
Dorian's playing mind games with everybody. The whole East Coast is having mind games played with them right now.
So
By
you
this-
know we got to realize the majority of our listening audience is not directly affected by this storm. You know,
Right.
like we are. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll give you a little context, everybody. We are recording Tuesday morning, September 3rd. You're hearing this maybe Tuesday night, September 3rd. The hurricane was supposed to be pummeling Florida today.
And
You
And-
understand we're not anyone's main news source. Most people know the hurricane exists.
No, I'm telling you,
there's been some bad info.
They have reporters on the front lines for a reason. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you the stuff
Oh, okay,
the mainstream
you're the
media
front
won't
line.
tell
Got
you.
it.
This is the eyewitness report.
Right.
Overnight, Dorian stalled. Dorian said, nah, and just sat there in the Atlantic, 0 miles an hour, just deciding what to do. And here's what happened in
And
Orlando, Florida.
destroying the Bahamas in the main stuff.
My drive to work this morning was sunny and worry-free, but the roads were completely empty because the entire state of Florida shut down. So we came in to do this podcast for you guys. We are completely safe, and we'll go home midday. It's a nice day outside.
complete non-issue. Just
Can I tell you my favorite? Because I've been following the Dorian news pretty closely. Is a very high up official in our country, I will not say who, warned the state of Alabama that they could feel pain. And immediately after, the National Weather Service said, in no way will Alabama be affected in any way. This high up official, who may hold the highest office in the
Yeah,
land,
double
then
down.
said, there's a chance it could, to which the National Weather Service once again tweeted, there's no way that will happen. There's a lot of misinformation out there today. Hey, but listen, that's why I'm glad we got a good guest on who's talking about misinformation today and the importance of seeking truth.
Wow, what a
What a
good
segue.
that
segue.
was real podcasting.
Coming up later.
Wowie.
Jen Hatmaker joins us. Like
Jen.
Jesse said, we talked to her about the importance of seeking truth in a culture of fake news and political agendas, and also how to have a productive conversation with people you disagree with. It's a fascinating conversation coming up.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
So lovely.
Can't wait to hear that.
So everybody's safe, Eddie. All is good in Gatorland.
I mean, it is literally nothing other than they just keep canceling schools because it's like, okay, so for those not in Florida, the weird thing is it's supposed to go up the East Coast, which is just a non-factor for us. But if it does bump a little west, well, then it's kind of a deal. So like if this thing just bumped 40 miles west, well, it's going to be a decent sized rainstorm, but also that's not going to happen. But in preparation, they just cancel the whole world. So we all just pretty much sit around. However,
We do the same when it snows.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I have been eating nothing but pasta because every time I turn on the TV, everyone's talking about spaghetti models. Check out the spaghetti models. I've been carb loading just in case I need to hunker down for a while because all these spaghetti models, I'm like, Kind of hungry.
You aren't even
Sounds
trying
great.
to
I
hide
haven't
your
had
bits.
spaghetti in a while.
Right.
You're not even trying anymore. You're just like, hey, here's
And you know
a
what I
new
would have
joke
thought,
I
Eddie?
thought
I'd
of.
have thought with him going towards a spaghetti model being a body conversation, like
Yeah.
he was a spaghetti model. That's where I thought he was going to go.
No. If you're following hurricane stuff as closely as I am,
Yeah.
it's they have like the hurricane and they have all these lines going everywhere, showing
Right.
every possible trajectory. And it looks like spaghetti noodles. One notable thing, none of those possible routes is anywhere near Alabama. So don't believe that fake news. No matter who's telling you, even if they happen to be the commander and chief himself.
He just sits there in front of CNN and he just pulls out a little reporter's notebook and he's like, what if the models were people? This is going to be great. Okay. Arrow down.
Did
So
you
anyway,
name
I'm
it
trying
spaghetti?
to be an actual spaghetti model. It's
Just you. That's what I thought we were going for. That's where I
well,
thought you were going.
you thought I was going to zig and a zagged, so no apology.
Are you the one who came up with spaghetti model, the phrase, or is that a phrase they're
No,
using?
that's
on
a
the next?
that's a
Yeah.
phrase. It's half of
Whoa,
what everyone's
whoa,
talking about with this
whoa.
thing.
Listen,
But
when
shows
Pump the
spaghetti
hurricanes-
models.
brakes. I'm not angry about it. I just was wondering if you had created that.
When you
this
live on
is
the
real.
coast and the hurricanes are part of your annual lexicon, you know the terminology. And spaghetti
Yeah.
model is very much the name of the map with all the lines showing where it could go.
Which is also I called it band name spaghetti model. I'm just calling it right now, Chandler. It's not yours. Hands off.
Chandler, that'd be a great band name for that stuff you do in the kitchen when you sing and rap in the kitchen.
Spaghetti model.
Oh, yeah. He could be making spaghetti while he does the song.
Yeah, because that's some enjoyable YouTube content that I have partook of, and I like it.
Somebody's gonna send us a picture of a town being ravaged and people having to float away, and they're gonna be like, "This is no laughing matter." We know that people.
Yeah, I'm not
We
laughing at the
laugh to
Bahamas. That was
cope.
tragic. But you can laugh at me because I've been getting stuff together for a week and literally it's sunny and lovely outside. So feel free to
I
make
will
fun
say
of me.
this on a serious note too. On relevantmagazine.com on Tuesday morning, we put up a little article about the different charities that are helping the victims of the storm.
man.
If you are interested to kind of learning what different organizations are doing and how you can help, you can go there and check that out.
Dude, we had Hurricane Irma go over our house, like, what was it, last year? And it
Yeah.
was, it was probably the scariest thing I have ever, we had a tree fall on our house. It was like the scariest thing I've ever been a part of. I cannot imagine what it's like for the Bahamas, having a Cat 5 move at a mile an hour just
Yeah.
across. I mean, that has
Pummeling.
got to be the worst.
There's one of the Weather Channel guys said there's no one on Earth living right now who's ever experienced what the Bahamas are experiencing right now, weather-wise. This is that the last time this happened, no one who's alive right now has ever experienced anything like this.
well, and Alabama is the two of them have experienced.
Listen, no one's even heard of a Cat 5 before this.
The thing that's crazy about the Bahamas, if you've been to the Caribbean islands, you know every building is built out of cinder blocks and pure concrete. I mean, they are built to withstand these storms, you know? What's crazy is when you're seeing the footage of the storm surge and like the airport is flooded on the second floor. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's like, that's what's crazy is seeing like 20 feet of ocean just washing over the entire island. And you're just kind of going, okay, there's no cinder block that prevents that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the buildings are still standing by and large, but I mean, the flooding is just unbelievable. And, you know, our prayers for all those people affected, honestly. And
Also, quick question. I don't know this phrase. I've heard it. I don't use it correctly.
Spaghetti
By
model.
in
It's model.
large or
Model.
my
Spaghetti
dog.
model.
The lines are going everywhere, like someone threw spaghetti out there. Although oddly, none even close to Alabama.
by in large, by and large.
I know that it's not and large.
Yeah, I say buy
so what
in
it is, it's a
large.
warehouse store, and you
Yeah,
you,
buy in
buy
large.
ramen
You
by
buy
the
in
pallet.
bulk.
You can buy like a pallet of toilet paper there. It's buy in large.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So it's E-N-L-A.
And I believe the phrase must be by in large.
It's by and
Because,
large.
right? You guys are all writers.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't sort it out.
By and large.
No,
I
it's
need
by and
to I'm
large.
Googling it right this minute, actually.
All right. Tell us what the Google says.
By in large, I-N.
There you go.
It's a sailing term. No. By and large. Oh my. By and large is originally a sailing term, meaning alternately close hauled and not close hauled. What does it mean?
Well, that's how I use it. But I only use
it
sailing.
in the nautical sense. I didn't know people used it if they're not on board a vessel.
Yeah,
So-
I just
By
get up there
and
with,
large.
I get up there with my little Captain and Tennille hat, and I'm just yelling by and large, and off we go.
All right, we're moving the show along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
No, wow. I'm just gonna trust you in the process. Wow. All that fortune cookie help is nonsense. Wow. I don't need your advice in my comments. Wow. Yeah, there's no fairy tale. This a do you still believe? And what you cannot see. Yeah. I know God is watching me. But it's kinda harder to see. Yeah. Do you still believe? And what you cannot see. Yeah, I know God is watching, but it's kinda harder to see.
You're listening to Believe by Social Club Misfits. It's their new single from their new album. It's awesome. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard I Just Want to Shine by Fitz and the Tantrums. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
I have a twofer, and one is about the legal system, and I will start with that one. A man in Tennessee is filing a lawsuit against Popeye's Chicken. Now, a lot of you guys know that recently Popeyes released their version of a chicken sandwich, coming at Chick-fil-A hard. And the sandwich is so popular, it's sold out around the country. And so there is a guy named Greg Barr, and he really, really wanted one of these chicken sandwiches. And evidently, he drove around to numerous Popeyes and came back to Popeyes after Popeyes employees said, maybe come back this time. I'm going to have chicken sandwiches. He even ended up getting into a bad Craigslist deal from someone who claimed to be a Popeyes employee that had a bunch of chicken sandwiches stashed away. After this big adventure and claiming that he sustained in his journey $1,500 of wheel and tire damage from driving around town, going to people's homes, looking for a chicken sandwich, he had enough. Now he's doing the right thing and he's suing Popeyes for $5,000 in damages. Here is a quote from his actual lawsuit, which it appears that he filed himself because these aren't even complete sentences, but I appreciate his gumption. Countless times wasted driving to and from Popeyes. No chicken sandwich. Was told to come back this day. Still no chicken sandwich. It actually got worse when he decided to go what he found, what he called a blacklist Craigslist ad, which is evidently a Craigslist ad coded because it's doing something criminal, when a Popeyes employee who said they worked on the fryer would quote unquote stash the sandwiches in back and then sell them back for $24. He says that the alleged employee did take his money, but he never delivered the fried goods.
Has anybody had this sandwich yet?
No.
No.
But I like that this guy was so desperate that he drove to every Popeyes in town. $1,500 in wheel and tire damage. I can only imagine that he was peeling out of every restaurant and driving his car as fast as he could. And when he got to the Popeyes, just slammed on the brakes, opened the door, rolled out as the car just slowly rolled to a stop and ran in looking for the sandwiches. I don't know how else he would have sustained $1,500 in wheel and tire damage.
Right.
But he's very upset about this, and he's filed a lawsuit against Popeyes for $5,000. I haven't gone looking for one of these sandwiches yet, but
that surprises me, actually, Jesse. I feel like that had been a high priority for you over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, actually.
Well, they sold out before Labor Day weekend, to be fair.
Yeah.
They announced they were sold out late last week. Jesse, not to step on your slice, but this weekend, I tweeted this out because it was so funny. There's a comedian named Kev on Stage. His name's Kevin. He's a Christian, and Chandler, I sent you the link. Can you pull it up? He did a thing on Instagram when your pastor preaches a message on Popeyes and what happened with Popeyes. I want you to play a clip, Chandler. This is one of the best sermons I've ever heard.
But the Lord had dropped something in my spirit concerning the Popeyes, and I just wanted to impart that to the people. Thus saith the Lord. Now watch this. Okay. Watch this with the Popeye situation and prepare your life. Amen. Now listen, sometimes Amen. God is going to bless you in a way that you're not prepared. Oh, come on. You had a kingpin of the chicken sandwich. Oh, she had gone unchallenged for years. It was an unwritten rule, amen, that this place was the best. But God has birthed something in you that is able to unseat the king. Now watch this. Now watch this. God has blessed you with the ability, the gift, the talent, the creativity to dethrone the king.
Wow.
But here's what you got to understand.
Steve Furtick's bringing it this week.
Now watch this. This is the key. Popeyes for years had a bad reputation for bad customer service. 10-minute wait on the spicy. People getting upset here and there. Watch this. Watch this. Popeyes, we accepted all these spicy. How come you ain't never got no spicy ready? Upset cooks. See, now listen. What Popeyes was not prepared for was how much God can bless you. When God,
Oh my gosh.
come on, God, or something, it's gonna do better. You know, the Bible says He's able, now unto Him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you could ever ask or think. Oh, when they put that chicken sandwich in the test kitchen, they hoped for the best. They did not prepare for what God had planned for them. Now watch this. Watch this. When you are not prepared out of season, when God blesses you, you will not be prepared to handle it. Now look at this. Look at this. I'm finna close. Popeyes just announced today that they're stopping selling the chicken sandwich. They can't handle the demands. They've got to regroup. They're sold out all across the nation. They're not really sold out, but they couldn't handle it. Now, if you don't have the integrity, the character, and the preparation out of season, when you get blessed by God, it will backfire.
Let's go, Cake.
Okay.
It's taking me back to my days, Cameron. I don't know if you feel like this. It's taking me back to my days as a student at the Fine Oral Roberts University, where that was basically every
blessing,
chapel.
preparation. Yeah.
Was it really?
Oh yeah. It never about Popeyes directly, but you know, about believing in God for a plane or something like that.
There was literally the sermon that we would hear at least twice a year. There's some obscure
about
verse
preparing out of season for the blessing that God has for you. So when God blesses you, you don't sell out of your chicken sandwich, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like Popeyes was not prepared for the blessing and it backfired on the,
Well, the sermon we would hear twice a year was based on an obscure verse of some Old Testament figure who, you know, was waiting on whatever treasures he was supposed to get from
the prayer of Jabez, dude.
This one was that God was sending camels, and on the backs of camels would be all the treasure. And the sermon title was "Your Camels Are Coming," and most of the sermon was just shouting, "Your camels are coming! Do you hear me right now? The camels." Your camels, they are coming. And that was 90% of the sermon. So whenever anything bad would happen on campus or I would get in trouble, I would just look at my RA and be like, listen, your camels are coming, bro. Your patience will be rewarded. Your camels are coming. They're not here. You got to deal with me. But your camels are coming. And
Kev on stage, everyone.
So
Kev on stage. Go follow him on Twitter or Instagram. He's really funny.
Okay, so one more. That's the Popeyes lawsuit, which I'll be joining, even though I haven't even looked for a Popeyes sandwich yet because I heard they were sold out. I don't wait in lines. I hate lines. And that actually is a transition to my next slice here.
Wow.
Okay, so this one, researchers recently conducted a study of about 2,000 adults to determine patience, how patient modern people are, and if our attention spans and patience for things has been affected by technology. Well, I want to read some stats from that. They wanted to know how long it takes for people to get frustrated. 25 seconds for a traffic signal to change. That's the barrier where it goes from patience to frustration is 25 seconds. That doesn't seem like a very long amount of time to wait. But at that point is when people get frustrated. This one doesn't surprise me. 16 seconds for a web page to load. That's a very long time.
Yeah,
that's a long time. Yeah,
I'd be. I'm going to read it somewhere else. If I'm waiting more than 10 seconds, I'm going to another website.
10 seconds. That's a long wait.
Yeah,
it should be instant.
Yeah. 22 seconds. People will get frustrated if a movie or a streaming show doesn't start working properly. You know, you get the little
How many
spinning
seconds?
thing. 22 seconds is the moment of frustration.
That feels true.
Oh, that's a long time.
I wouldn't wait that long. 22 seconds. I'm thinking something's wrong with my Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Annie's counting right now.
I'm experiencing it right now.
and-
You're right. 22 seconds is really long.
Yeah.
You hit play. And you said that for 22 seconds? No. I mean, 5 seconds in, I'm going, something's up. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the cutoff where frustration sets in. Okay, time spent waiting for order food to arrive at a restaurant. What do you think the cutoff is for frustration to set in? This is
20
a
minutes.
non-Popeye situation. This
20,
is
20 minutes.
it's lower than that. This is at a restaurant. You order food. You're waiting. It's people get mad. It's lower than 20 minutes. Eddie, what's your guess?
I mean, I think right in the middle, like 10 minutes.
Wait, are we talking entree or are we talking appetizer? Because
just says
appetizers are 5
food.
minutes. Yeah,
Well,
but see,
well,
appetizers are 5 minutes. I don't want an entree in 5
No,
minutes.
I mean, judging by the time, this is entree. This is entree territory.
Okay.
Annie, you order an entree. you're
Order an
at-
entree. I want to have it. I think 20 minutes is really reasonable. I'd say 17 to 20 minutes.
The cutoff where frustration sets in for modern adults is 14 minutes. That's where they're.
That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
Yeah. So, but when surveyed, most people who took the survey and kind of noted how little bit of time it takes for people to get legitimately frustrated, they blame technology. We're so used to everything on demand these days that it's really affecting our ability to wait for anything, whether it's a traffic light or a web page to load or a food to order. So it's having a pretty dramatic. Yeah, it's having pretty dramatic effect. Hence, Eddie, shut your mouth. Shut it. The mouth needs to be shut. Shut it. So anyway, that concludes my slice. Now shut it, Eddie. Yeah. So people are getting very impatient. But all I say is I'm not waiting in line for a pop. I don't care how good the chicken sandwich is. Like I will eat a vending machine chicken sandwich in a microwave before I'm going to wait more than 10 minutes for a fast food chicken sandwich. Patience outweighs, like my impatience far outweighs my desire to try a new chicken sandwich.
But I'll tell you though, man, like that was a thing we noticed about when our storytelling team went to Ghana was just the pace is different there.
Yeah.
And for the first couple of days we were antsy, but it was crazy how quickly all of that just fell away. And you're like, okay, well, we're back. I wonder how I feel like we haven't gone so far that we can't undo it. We're just,
That's right.
It's just
I think
possible.
you're right.
We know we can pick up groceries. We know we can do all of this stuff. Cause I felt like I slipped back into like, oh yeah, we're waiting a half hour for food and it's going to take an hour to eat. And this is like a normal quick lunch. But yeah.
I also think it just, whenever those opportunities arise for me to wait longer than I want to wait, I try to take that. There's a lot of ways that you get to practice patience, and that's a pretty painless one. And if I can get good at it in those moments when it really matters, it won't burn so bad. So I try to sit through those. I think I've told you a story about when I was waiting for breakfast with a friend we had both ordered, and hers came in like 2 minutes and mine never came.
Oh boy.
And I just kept sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just kept sitting there and being like, this is a practice. This is a practice. I need to get up. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sit here until it had been like very clear we were the only people left, like in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And then they were like, did we miss your order? And I was like, yeah. And I was like,
they were like, well, why didn't you say something like 15 minutes ago?
Totally. But I was and it was like burning in my soul to get up and fix it. And then I was like, maybe they just needed to cook the bacon twice. Or I was like practicing it.
Let me ask you this, Annie. What was the lesson? Because it sounds to me like the patience didn't pay off.
The lesson is don't go to that place again. And I haven't. But I did. My patience muscle got worked out and is stronger because of it.
Yeah. Waiting when you're hungry, though, is a special kind of terrible, though. I mean, waiting for a Netflix show to load, I'm like, all right, settle down, you big baby. But waiting hungry, I'm going to implode.
Yeah. What about this scenario, Eddie? You're watching a Netflix show that took a long time to load, but it's one of those food shows and you're starving.
Called. spaghetti models.
Boom. Yeah. I'm going to Elvis Presley my TV and just completely freak out. So
Spaghetti models.
All right, what do you have, Eddie?
I want to speak of a hero. Her name is Wendy Auger, and I'd like to tell you her story. Wendy, for 15 years, had a vanity license plate, and I'd like to talk about vanity license plates for a minute because I have a love-hate with them. But let me tell you what hers said, and I'm trying to give it to you in a way that doesn't give it away, but I don't know how.
Just spell it out.
Is it the PED one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's PB4 WEGO.
P before we go.
P before we go.
Oh.
So her joke is she got. See, you think it's funny. I read it and I was like, dork, but I guess it's not.
I mean, if you're like hardcore mom mode,
not you.
I mean,
you're not
like
a dork, but I thought it was like a dorky joke. But so the idea
It's
is
very passive aggressive. It is
she's
very
a funny
passive
mom.
aggressive.
I like her. She's
and
funny.
I still don't understand it though, because her explanation of it is it's like the thing you say to your kids right before they get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then why put it on a license plate? I don't understand.
Well, because it became a family joke that mom always says, "Pee before we go, pee before we go, pee before we go," and then how funny that she is self-aware and has a good sense of humor. She got it as a license plate.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'm into that. I still don't think it's funny, but now I understand it, so that's helpful.
Yeah, okay.
So she's had this thing for 15 years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets a letter from the DMV stating that she is one of, and it turns out 90 people where they had done some review of vanity license plates and they had deemed it inappropriate. And the DMV was going to do everything they could to make it right. They were going to give her a new vanity license plate, or they were going to pay for the difference that she paid to get a vanity license plate. Like they were doing everything they could, but they were basically like, you can't have this anymore. It's indecent. First of all, do we think it's indecent?
No.
It's a bodily function, but it's not, I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, like you wouldn't do other bodily functions and think it's okay.
It's a decent thing to ask of people. I mean, it's
Right.
Pee before you go. Well,
yeah.
So what ends up happening with this vanity license plate is she takes to social media blows up, and the governor, who apparently has that kind of time, the governor got involved.
Hold on, what state is this?
Live Free or Die. Which one is that? New Hampshire.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why did you know the live free or die part?
Because I've seen a picture of the license plate and it seems like such an anarchist license plate now because she's standing next to it and it says live free or die.
Right.
But so the governor then calls and stepped in, made it all right, and then called her and said, "Oh, okay, you can keep the license plate." And he handed down his massive authority to stop the DMV from stopping her license plate, and she gets to keep her license plate. So she's a real hero. But I'm curious, do any of you have vanity license plates? If not, what would you get on it? Be honest.
Hold on. I want to talk about this story for a minute.
Okay.
Just if we can, because I'm very conflicted about it.
Yeah.
Because it's government intrusion on two levels.
Yeah.
One,
I
don't
love
need
when Jesse
Uncle
gets mad about
Sam.
this.
Yeah.
I don't need Uncle Sam telling me what I can and can't put on my own vehicle.
Well, hold on, Jesse. If somebody had like an FU type license plate and your kids were in the car, would you be okay with that?
Exactly.
What does that
I
stand for?
wouldn't. Why wouldn't I?
Oh, I
Fu?
got Jesse.
Fu?
Yeah.
It's Father above, but like in a,
No,
like
I'm not saying. I'm not saying FU. I'm saying what if it was spelled out? You're saying you have no problem.
I wouldn't like it, but this is a free country. And
But it's a
Really?
but it's a
That's how you feel?
government license thing. It's not like personal property. It's like I don't know. I think there is a line of
wouldn't like
decency.
it. Listen, I would pull the old Voltaire. I may not like what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. And that's my feelings on the matter. So I don't like that.
You
I
have a
don't like that they just
confusing
told this
political
woman what is and
portfolio.
isn't decent, right? Especially, who knows? Maybe one of her children has a bladder condition. Did you guys ever think about that? And needs the constant reminder every time they board the car.
And so this little child, yeah, keep going.
But I don't like that the governor just swooped in. It seems like the governor should have better things to do than to, weigh in on what's clearly a very minor matter here. But I agree with the outcome, even though I don't like how it got there.
Right. Yeah.
It's complicated, guys.
Lots of
It's
caveats here. Yeah.
Yeah, I
very
think you only get
complicated.
one chance as the DMV to intersect with the plate, and that's when it's ordered. And if you missed it
Yeah.
and you allowed it to be printed and put out there in the world, well, that's just that's on you, DMV, especially after it's been for 15 years, because everybody in New Hampshire has seen that license plate after 15 years. There's like 15 people in that state, and it's pretty small, and it's a pretty funny license plate. It's the cat's out of the bag.
Any of y'all have? I do not have a vanity license plate, but I do have one. I don't have letters that are vanity, but I do not have the basic Tennessee one. I have one that supports, because this is probably true in y'all states too, but we can pay $25 and get one that supports a cause that we love. And so I used to have one that was like the national park that's right by my house called Radnor Lake. But currently I have the Imagination Library support, which means I have Dolly Parton's face on my license plate.
I've seen that. I always
It's
wondered how that
awesome.
happened.
I really love it. It is literally her face on the side of my license plate.
Florida has the most of those kinds of license plates of any state, and I mean
The
they
most.
are. You
they're all,
you
like,
rarely even
lame.
see a
It's like-
Florida one.
It's like Save the Dolphins in education or
And manatees and whales, and there's there's like a pro-life one.
Yeah, there's a pro-life one,
There's
yeah.
there's a ton of different ones.
all the
I was
pro
at-
sports teams, all the colleges, but then just a bunch of them like bicyclists.
Boy
And it's
Scouts.
just like,
Right,
what?
right, right.
I was at the DMV and I was looking at all of them, and all of them were like the same thing, like $20. And it goes to some calls, except for one that was marked down to $5, and I almost got it. And it
What is
just
it?
said horse lover, and it had two very poorly drawn horses. Like it looked like a child's horse, but not intentionally. It wasn't like
Jesse, I will pay the money to get that license for you.
Yeah,
it was. It's
Oh,
only
I'll throw
$5.
$1. We
Horse-
can
it's
each
horse
give you
lover.
$1
It just
and
says
it'll pay
horse
for it.
love, and it's like it's not clear like what exactly am I supporting here,
And what
like
the nature of
horses?
the love
Like,
is.
where did this $5 go? Because it's not like there's just like horses running around,
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure that it supports any horse related calls. I think it's just $5 and you get a picture of a horse on your license plate that says horse lover. And it was weird. That was the only one. It was like they ordered a bunch of these horse lovers and they can't move them. They got a lot of inventory in the back and they're like, just slash it. Take it down to $5. See if we can eventually just pay drivers in the state.
Yeah, why didn't
to have
I'm
a horse
surprised
lover.
that didn't win you over, Jesse. That feels like a really easy $5 spin for you.
Can I be honest? It was a separate line, and I just didn't feel like waiting.
There it
Like,
is. There it is.
Get back on the line.
Okay.
Go get the horse lover plate. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
almost did. I had things to do, but it wasn't quite. The joke wasn't quite worth me having to get out of line and get a
Jesse,
new number and all that.
next time I'm in Virginia, you and I are going to make a pit stop at the DMV.
Deal. I am certain they're not sold out, and I am almost certain that they're less than $5 right now because I've never seen one on the road. I can't imagine that they've sold any
Yeah,
of
but
these.
you don't live in rural Virginia. They're probably that's their target demographic out there. It's go
But
west.
it's
young
unclear.
man.
Like it doesn't. It's like all of the other ones, like going to support the Veterans Foundation or going to support community, Save the Bay and all this stuff. It's very clear what I'm supporting. Like the one with the crab on it.
Where's y'all's bay going? Why do you have to save it?
The Chesapeake Bay. That's a lot
Yeah?
of trouble. A lot of trouble for you.
drifting out to sea.
If you were in these parts, a lot of trouble in the bay. But if you get the crab one, it
How's
says
that
Save
for
the
an
Bay.
answer?
It's clear. I'm saving the bay here. This $20, I'm going to go to save that crab in this bay. The horse lover. Am I supporting other horse lovers or am I supporting horses? It's all very unclear. Hypothetically, this could be people that eat horses. These people
What if
love
it's seahorses and it's also helping the bay?
Oh, it's a seahorse lover.
It's all
That's really
very
beautiful.
unclear. It's all very unclear, and I think
I'm
that's
still
why.
very unclear about why you need to save a bay that is not going anywhere.
Listen,
well, it could
there's-
get polluted, Annie.
there's
That
pollution.
doesn't mean it's going anywhere. I
Save
don't know
the
what
health
you're-
of the bay. Save the vitality of our ecosystem.
It's the mighty
and that'd have been
Chesapeake,
really long
Annie.
to put on a license
Yeah,
plate.
save the vitality of our-
vitality
yeah.
The
of our
bay's got a nice ring to it. You got a cute little blue crab. The thing is, like when I'm saving that blue crab, it's because I like to eat them. So that's why I'm not confused, certain about the horse thing. I don't know who this is. I have no idea when it says horse lover, who this is supporting, what cause it's going to, or why they even commissioned this license plate in the first. Because Virginia only has like 12, and one of them's horse lover.
No. I'm deep into the DMV. They have a lot more than 12. Business logo plates are available in Virginia. You can get your own logo.
Oh, wow, Jesse.
It's got to be a fleet of at least 100 vehicles. I feel like we could sell 100.
Cameron, we're going to need Relevant's going to need to purchase 100 vehicles in Virginia when we get these rad Virginia vanity plates that have the Relevant logo on them. We're only 99 vehicles away. I can make mine a company car.
I guarantee you we could
Are y'all a one-car family? Can you be
Sure,
two cars?
there's two. Only 98 more to go.
I bet you've got 100 cousins around that neighborhood.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do have a lot.
Oh, well,
We
he
do
could
have
just
a
sell
lot.
them on the cul-de-sac block party.
For your
Exactly.
family reunion this year, everybody's getting a license plate.
You're either getting a Relevant one or a horse lover, because I love horses, the sweetest, tenderest of meats.
Okay, here's what's crazy about Virginia. You can get license plates for basically any school. Like Georgia, University of Florida, why would they have that available in Virginia? Because usually you can just get your own.
Probably.
I think here's what I
Booster
think.
clubs.
I
Probably
think
booster
I think
clubs.
they hired the wrong person at the license plate the Virginian license plate factory, and the person just went crazy for like 3 years and was just printing up random license plates, and they ended up with every college, and they ended up with like 4,000 horse lovers, and now they don't know what to do with them. It was a bad hire, and now they've got to pay the consequences, which is a lot of weird license plate. Let's be frank, no one in the state wants. So it's a big problem here. Save the pay.
But also, and this is just a final to mind, the Virginia code for license plates is the commissioner may, in his or her discretion, reserve license plates with certain registration numbers or letters or combinations thereof for issuance to persons requiring license plates so numbered and lettered. In other words, they have the ability to not let you say whatever they want.
Yeah.
That's right.
But once it gets out the door, it's their problem. Of course,
Right.
we got to deal with. I'm going to get Brienne on this. She's in law school.
I want
understand the
a
lawyer.
horse lover vanity plate that also says "Yeehaw" on it, and just like proudly drive around. I've been on a horse like once in my life, and I can't even remember the last time I've seen a horse up close. Like,
I mean, if anybody needs a Virginia horse lover yeehaw license plate, it's our cowgirl extraordinaire. Right?
Right.
You need to send it to Annie.
yeah,
She needs to
because-
just
But I'm not replacing Dolly.
Oh, that's true.
Dolly's pretty.
Well,
good.
get a second car
Okay, great. Just add me to the
or
fleet.
a motorcycle. Just
I'm gonna buy a
get a
separate
motorcycle.
car for the horse lover plate. I've got all these horse lover plates, and I've only got one vehicle, so I need to buy 4 more.
We've
cars.
really lost Eddie to learning what states allow on their license plates.
I'm 100% out of this show. I am like,
Does it have like a tool online to like, can this one work? Like, can you like try different phrases to see if it's like available?
What if that was your job, though? What if you're the one person who just sits behind a desk all day and is like, oh, here's another one. Ooh, definitely can't print that. That's a hard rejection. You're just reading dirty jokes on license plates all day long.
How can they stay up on the text lingo of the next generation? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you could slide something in there.
Well, no, this person, they have 2 pages on their browser. They get 2 tabs open. One is the page Eddie's looking at right now that has the specificities of the law. The other one's Urban Dictionary, and they're typing it in. They're like, nope, can't say that.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's what that
That's
means.
right.
I've never read something so horrific. You want to be skeezed out by humanity? Read the definition of anything on Urban Dictionary.
okay, so what would be like a modern word that you wouldn't think would be allowed, but that they would, because I'm on the Virginia one right now and it keeps bumping back every combination of terrible word I put in there.
I'm not
It's like,
going to say. See, we can't say these things though, Eddie. Like I have a few suggestions, but I'm not going to throw them out
Annie
there.
just texted me a good one. Hold on, let me try that.
Oh no!
I did not.
Annie, hold on. She texted me
gosh.
too. Hold on, let me look this
Annie.
up on Urban Dictionary. What?
Annie,
Oh my!
where did you even
Annie.
hear this word?
This is. You should
Annie.
be arrested in several countries for even suggesting this.
Yeah, I don't even
Annie.
understand it. It's like a confusing. It's raising more questions than answers.
That's
Annie,
what that
whatever you
Little
just sent
John
us.
song meant. I can't believe that, Annie.
It's profane
Y'all are
on
monsters.
Hey,
multiple
hold on.
levels.
I got a quick phone call. Hello? No, it was just Annie. I was my accountability partner. Something pinged on my server.
Yeah.
that never
Yeah.
had before.
My accountability partner.
Yeah.
Hello, no, it's just Annie.
My
That's,
Covenant Eyes partner just
that's
pinged
what I
me.
always say when I get a call from my accountability partner. My go-to is no, it's just Annie.
Oh yeah, it was just Annie. Annie said something to me. I had to Google it and figure out what it meant.
I thought it was
Annie,
innocent.
that's impressive for real. If your accountability partner called in 18 seconds, that's faster than a meal at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's
So-
pretty unbelievable. But they
very
have to.
impatient.
Yeah, he
Well,
has
you
an
got to
amazing
catch
server.
Eddie midstream. That's the problem. You can't
That's
wait
right.
15 minutes. You got to
That's
be on
right.
the 18
No,
second
you gotta.
alert.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
All right, Annie, what do you have?
Okay, you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. There is a Japanese Buddhist temple that is 400 years old, and they have brought in a robot priest named Mindar to start preaching all the sermons. Have y'all read about this yet?
No,
I've seen it, but I'm
He's
not
a
familiar.
He's a human size android. So he's 6'4".
like C-3PO.
It's a big human.
Yes, except he looks like a person. He's made of aluminum, but it has silicone on top, so it looks like a human. And their hope is that this robot priest is going to rejuvenate the Buddhist religion in Japan because of how they can update him, how he knows everything, how he can update them. Like he gets updated on things like Urban Dictionary and is able to write sermons and tell sermons, and he knows everything. It's like a computer, and he's immortal. Right. So for decades after this, they're hoping Mindar, will remain the priest of this temple and evolve infinitely, is what one of the people said, that they hope he evolves infinitely. How crazy is that? He is programmed to deliver a 25-minute sermon that includes all the things that are in a Buddhist sermon. And he moves his torso, arms, and legs.
Mendar is available as a personalized plate in Virginia.
And I want to issue a quick correction and apology. Then I want to talk about Mentar. It's not horse lover. It's actually funnier. It's horse enthusiast.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
You can't move them. They got too many. It's the horse enthusiast license plate. No, I do think that's interesting. But I think it's interesting, the implications, Annie, because what's preventing like other religions from doing this, creating some sort of AI that would just be... You know, like if you were to upload all of the data from like YouVersion into some sort of AI interface,
right?
You know, hypothetically, you could ask it pretty detailed questions about the Bible and theology, interpretations of Scripture.
But I've been to the Hall of Presidents at Disney World. I mean, this isn't new.
He's way back. I mean, the Hall of Presidents was created in the 70s.
But I'm saying it's just like an android communicating, you know, information as in human form. I mean, it's not that weird. I mean, we're not sitting there going, this is a human. This is a, you know, I mean, it's just like...
I mean, but it is when they're giving spiritual content. That
I don't
feels
know.
different.
I mean, I can Google spiritual content and read it with my eyes. Why can't I listen to it with my ears? I mean,
So
what's
hold
the
on.
difference?
It's creating the content. It's not just like a presenter of like a speech somebody else wrote.
That is different.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm understanding this correctly.
Because there's there's like apps that are, because like let's say you took it like one step beyond to perform other sort of like ministry duties. Like what if this thing had, like if you could say, hey, I'm struggling with X, and it would pull from its database and know what to tell you. I mean, you're only one step away from something like confessing, you know, or like verbalizing something
To a robot.
But
Yeah.
I feel like on a one-on-one level, we want our counselors and spiritual advisors to have empathy and understanding and compassion. You know, like it's not just information. Because I mean, I wouldn't look to it for ministry, but to look to it for religious information or to like...
But like a sermon, I want the person telling me a sermon to have empathy and real life experience.
Well, and I mean, let's go to the Christian. I mean, there's a soul level, and there's anointing, and there's gifts aside of just information being conveyed. And so like, I mean, I believe that there's a line of what, you know, this is the bioethics line of what is human.
Yeah.
What is, you know, that's really the question here. I mean, if we're looking to it as just an information source, no different than a computer, essentially. Like I can ask it a question and it will formulate, you know, religious information for me. Big deal. I'm not looking to it as ministry, but like there is a line of we, as Christians believe in the soul realm, and that there is absolutely a soul component to ministry, actual ministry.
But that is one of the big AI things. I wish we had, do y'all know Andy Crouch? I wish we had an Andy Crouch button, because he teaches so much on AI and where that's going with our faith and technology. But I'm just fascinated at the idea of, if this works in Buddhism, will other religions adopt it? Will we in 30 years, 50 years see a church that is preached to, I will not say pastored by, but preached to by an Android.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll absolutely see it. I mean, just like, hey, we can do video now. Let's do video. We can do social media now. Let's do social media. I think the church embraces new technology, and we will err. You figure out where the line is by crossing it. And, but I think you'll see it.
There's two fundamental problems with this, like that I run into, or like things that I think of. One, what's your view of the role of the pastor? Because this changes pretty significantly depending on what your faith background is, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you were someone who is like Catholic, this would be a pretty significant barrier because the role of priest is much more esteemed than like they can be in moments of confession, like a direct conduit between you and God.
Yeah.
And so to them, this would be a much bigger deal than in theory, like me. Like, because to me, it would just be like, oh, confession isn't really part of my faith background, even though I think it's important. It's not really a part of what we do as, Wesleyan Methodist types. So then confessing to a robot wouldn't be as big a deal because really what I'm doing is just using that robot to pray. Right. So that's the first thing. But the second thing to me that is like it does kind of bump up against, is there something that I feel like God is smaller than, that God can't use this? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like God's bigger than this robot.
That's a real Enneagram 4 spin out. I've never even got close to that far. Can God use a robot? I didn't ever get that far. That's
but I mean,
thinking.
like in the Bible, God used the donkey, like I think, God can choose to speak through and communicate with people through whatever means he desires. Totally. I'm not saying that he will, but I think he's demonstrated in the Bible. He talked to Moses through, burning bush. This brings, I know we need to shift segments soon, but this kind of brings like something I wanted to discuss at some point that's sort of along the same lines. As we posted a video, and Cameron, you and Tyler talked about it on Daily one day, of a former traditional pastor who now uses the virtual social network through the Oculus, like the 3D kind of goggles, and he meets people in this kind of virtual space where everyone is represented by an avatar. And I don't know if you guys has used the Oculus, but it's pretty transforming. Like, you feel like you're in a different place. And he goes and he meets people there, and he tells them the gospel. And he's also on several occasions, because this atmosphere is so rich, there's water, there's land, there's trees. He's actually baptized people in virtual reality. And so he takes their avatar, dips them under the water, and does a traditional baptism while kind of telling the meaning of baptism. And, one of the first people that he did this baptism with, that went sort of viral in a video that he shared, had some condition that prevented them from leaving the home. And this person wanted to experience baptism, but they, for health or psychological reasons, were unable to leave their house and actually go to a church or something. We posted this video, and people were so dismissive of it. And a lot of people were sort of almost upset at us for sharing it, when it seems like it definitely seems unorthodox, but it seems in the spirit of the metaphor that baptism is, of this spiritual transformation that you're physically acting out. Do you guys have thoughts about that? Because this has a human connection, but it's done in a virtual, technologically advanced space that's not in the natural world, but it's sort of along the same lines.
When I said on Daily, I defer to the esteemed spiritual leaders that we have on our panel here. But what I said on Daily was the act of baptism was an outward expression of an inward change. And so if the person on the other end of that avatar chose to follow Jesus and chose to make an outward show of that decision by, in the virtual reality world where they've connected with other people, show their decision through the act of baptism virtually, to me, it's the same, inward act as if you did it in front of a church congregation. Yeah. But anyway, what do you guys think?
I mean, everything in me feels weird about it, but I can't prove why. Right. So that's where I'm at. Like, I don't think it's not real. I think the pastor is having real interactions. I think the people being baptized are feeling real,
making a choice.
Feeling real change. Like but everything in me just screams like, this is bizarro, and I'm uncomfortable with it. But also, I'm probably bumping up against my age here, and just my tolerance for technology.
What do you think, Annie?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the people who feel very connected to other people via social media or
Right.
via the internet. And, the people on Sims, that game that they actually get married and feel like they're married in real life. And, there is something about that we, I don't know if this is going to come out correctly, but there is something we have correctly harnessed about how our souls connect, but we don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like we've harnessed something online that feels like real connection that 150 years ago they wouldn't have understood, but we feel it. So we know it's true. So I don't know that I would go to a church like that or interact
Right.
with the pastor that way. But if I'm homebound and I don't have family and no friends don't come over, but there's a church in my virtual reality that I
Right.
attend every week and I get baptized. That feels very true, I think, for some
right.
reason.
Right.
Well, and Eddie,
It's
to
weird.
your point, you're saying there's something weird about it that you can't put your hand on. I don't disagree, but I think the act of baptism is weird. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, I think,
Symbolic, yeah.
it's something that's like, well, is anything actually physically happening? When we go
Right.
under, what's the
Well, and
difference?
if so, is it
between,
immersion? Is it sprinkle? Or is it, the different
Yeah.
traditions have different expressions.
Well, and what's the difference between being submerged in this virtual space when it's a meaningful experience versus in a tank that some, contractor put in on the stage of my church? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like none of us are going, some people might, but none of us are going down to the Jordan River here. We're all,
Right.
simulating an act that was described in the Bible in very different ways,
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Here's another one. Like when people do home churches, and this happens quite frequently, when there's home churches or satellite churches and they do communion, some of these churches ask people to gather their own communion elements at home. So like get a little bit of wine and a little bit of bread. That runs into the same issue because for some,
Right.
like someone that is from the Episcopal Anglican tradition where I currently am at, that would be that is not the correct treatment of the communion elements. That is, but for others, like it's no big deal. And so we really bump up against the level at which people are viewing the fundamental pieces of their expressions of faith. Like it really comes down to not is it okay or not okay, or should this be happening with Oculus Rift? It's how do you view baptism? So I personally am fine with it because to me, it's just very symbolic in the whole thing. But for some people, like if you're not in water, if you're not in front of a congregation, it doesn't take. And
Would
so,
you feel the same about taking communion in that way? Would you feel like it didn't?
I actually wouldn't, but I am not speaking as an expert on this, but I have come to in the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah, probably 10 years, really understand the sacrament of communion in a way that's much more profound and holy than I think I ever gave it credit for on a youth group.
But you don't feel
ski
that way
trip.
about baptism.
I do, but not. I'm trying to use the word the solemn, but that's not it. What's the word? That's just like reverence.
Reverence, yeah. I mean, I went to a baptism a month ago, maybe. That was 10 of us at a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt as reverent as what happens at a church. But I also get where people don't feel like those are the same thing.
But I also don't hold to the fact that you need to be like baptism does not equal salvation. And
That's right.
And so it's an amazing step of faith. But if you're not baptized, you're not like going to hell. Now, people listening to this show who are very smart will disagree with me. And I understand that's where this gets really, really murky, because now I'm trying to put Oculus Rift pastor through these paces. And it's really hard to there's a very small segment of people that would be just okay with it. But for those people, this serves them well. And I don't think any of them are losing their salvation because of it. It's hard for me.
Especially in the light of the subtext of the gospel, right? There's the text, that's the literal words and the literal, translation of those words. And there's the subtext, which seems pretty clear, which Jesus wasn't about rules and formality. He was about heart change. And, he healed on Sundays or on the Sabbath because he would look into the heart of the law, not the letter of it. And I think that's a major subtext of the entire gospel narrative is this is about heart change. And yeah, initially there were rules and things put in place, but if we get too caught up and then we lose the real message here. And I sometimes think it's better to err on the side of grace than it is legalism. You know?
Jesse, is crazy that my new license plate the tagline says the heart of the law, not the letter of it. And then I put a big profane word. And then I put a big profane word as the
horse lover.
All right. That'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Jen Hatmaker brings up, man, we're just walloping people today. You're listening to Mr. Impossible by Fantagram. This is my high school nickname. Crazy. Well, today's show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a site with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. You can even design a best-in-class online store with Squarespace's award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin. Including all the tools you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails in one intuitive interface, Squarespace Commerce allows you to understand every aspect of your business. Go to squarespace.com/relevant right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Well, Jen Hatmaker is a writer, speaker, and the host of the podcast For the Love, which just wrapped a new series about the importance of finding truth, where she spoke with journalists, thinkers, and writers about cutting through the noise and seeking real solutions. Jesse recently spoke with Jen about seeking truth in a divided world and having productive conversations with people we disagree with.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I always appreciate talking to Jen, and especially about this topic. Like as we're coming into an election season and in a time where things are particularly polarized, she is looking for real solutions that, focus on people over politics. And I was really thrilled to have her on.
Well, there you go. Here is part of Jesse's conversation with Jen Hatmaker.
So, I wanted to talk about the podcast and the recent series you did. Man, I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you.
And man, I it was so inspiring to hear you tackle a topic like, finding truth, because I feel like that's something it transcends demographics, age, right, religion, we're all kind of like in this kind of interesting place right now. What made you want to, tackle it as a series for the podcast?
It's just so relevant right now. And I don't know if it's because I'm paying more attention at this stage of my life or if it's just more ubiquitous to our culture. But I don't think we have the luxury anymore of sort of taking a backseat to information anymore. We are it's a new time, it's a new season, it's a new generation of the information age. And so with it just comes this baked in responsibility to figure out how to assess this information deluge that every one of us is in. I mean, you have to work really, really hard to not be in the current. And so I just realized in my own heart, in my own kind of soul, the energy that I felt around my sort of media intake, that I cannot be the only one that feels a little crazy. I cannot be the only one feeling like, how are we supposed to sort through all this every day? This is not normal. The human condition is not designed for this amount of intake, this much information, this much noise. And so I just thought, as we're coming up on another election season, I mean, we're in it by all purposes here. And this is only going to get louder, not quieter for us. I wanted to offer a service to my podcast community, just potential new paver stones through this that we can walk on, that we can grab onto as we increase our own personal media literacy, as we are attempting to become informed and diligent citizens who are rightly handling accurate information, know what to do with truth and fiction, and then ultimately how we're teaching our kids to consume it. I mean, I have 2 kids who can vote. And so for me, this matters not just for me and my generation, but definitely for the next.
Yeah. You're able to talk to so many interesting and informed people from across sort of the ideological spectrum. What surprised you most when you were having these conversations?
To be honest, I would say, and as we sort of assembled our guest list for this series, we positively wanted to make sure that it was a bipartisan effort and that we weren't necessarily playing into a specific space or ideology, but rather inviting people who can help us learn how to be objective and learn how to be critical thinkers. And that was absolutely the through line we wanted to prioritize, rather than necessarily talking points or ideologies or whatever. And so I think probably what surprised me in a wonderful way, I was hoping for this, but then I was pleasantly surprised to discover that the journalists that we interviewed and the commentators, some of the pundits, even the writers, were incredibly bipartisan. And I found their interviews fascinating. And what I saw was this difference between what I sometimes see on social media or in the news cycles, which just feels absolutely polarized. And if you talk to anybody, that's what they would tell you right now. I would tell you that the world feels so polarized and there is nothing in the middle. And there's this one side and there's this one side, and nary the two shall meet. And the divide is impossible to bridge and we are screwed. But what I discovered is all these very intelligent and reasonable people walking a third way. And in journalism, even very objective. And I sensed zero hysteria in it at all. So I think there is this one version of what's going on in our country right now that sells. It sells. It's hot. Yeah. It's very, very hot to see everybody fighting, all the wars, all the name calling, the back and forth. It's very easy to get swept up in that. And I'm guilty of that. So easy to get swept up into all and never and all of them and none of them and all. That's not been the case. That's not at all what I uncovered as I interviewed for this series. I found something very reasonable and very measured, middle space where people can agree and come to the table in constructive dialogue. And it was actually really encouraging.
It's so interesting because, when I look at conversations that will happen like on social media with 2 people who otherwise might be totally reasonable and well-mannered, like Twitter, sometimes people assume the worst when it comes to like tone and, these different things. But when you have these conversations, what I loved about the series is it really highlighted the value of like actual conversation, because people give each other the benefit of the doubt when they seem to be talking kind of face to face.
100%. I mean, not only is that sort of what we unearthed in this series, but what I know in my own personal experience. That is my lived experience as well, which is, really, no matter how ideologically misaligned I am with somebody, there is a completely different experience to sitting down with them and listening and looking them in the face and they me, and having a conversation around complex issues than what is available to us in the social media world. This is a lot of ink has been spilled about that, but it is just fundamentally true. I mean, I think, for example, I have arguably the greatest dad in the world. I mean, I had a charmed childhood. Our dad overloved us. He overvalued us. To this day, he still thinks we are worth about 100% more than we are. And encouraging, kind, good-hearted, sincere, absolutely faithful, like just a faithful Christ follower. we think very differently about some of the issues. We vote differently. We watch different news channels. We have different ideology wrapped around some of these conversations. But it's like, my dad is such a good man, and nobody could argue otherwise. And he would say the same thing about me. He would say that I have integrity and that I'm good-hearted. And so it really is possible to do this differently than we're doing it. We are not required to burn a group down or to assign terrible intentions to them or to assume we know what experiences bring them to their perspectives. And so I can just see this with me and my dad, that we've got two good people at the table who just think differently about how to govern and think differently about sort of what politics should look like. It doesn't mean either one of us is entirely right or entirely wrong.
That was Jen Hatmaker. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
I'm gonna miss it when it's over. Yeah, yeah. I hope we never see October. Yeah, yeah. I felt the weight fall off my shoulders. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna miss this when I'm gonna miss you when it's done, baby.
I'm Jim Stump, host of the BioLogos podcast, Language of God. I'm here to tell you about Season 2. We'll be talking to theologians, pastors, scientists, and writers about
spiritual formation,
evolutionary biology,
social healing and civil discourse,
language transformation,
and so much more. We'll explore the harmony between science and Christian faith
with John Ortberg,
Krista Tippett,
John Walton,
and lots of others. Join us for Season 2 of Language of God. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
This way till it's done.
You're listening to October by Alicia Cara. She released it on the first day of September, ironically.
Yeah. Feels like it was just it was a marketing mistake. It was so
like, could have
easy
just waited.
to do it.
She was so excited. It's like me when I buy a Christmas present for somebody. I can't wait to give it to them. She finished the song. Her marketing person was like, all right, we're releasing it September 30th at midnight. She's like, no.
Cameron
October.
gave me a horse enthusiast license vanity plate in July. He was just too excited. Couldn't help himself. It was my Christmas present this year.
Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last Tuesday, we asked you to tell us about your most awkward celebrity encounter. You guys did not disappoint. You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here are a few of our favorites.
I like this one from Jeremy. He once snubbed Justin Timberlake. He was at a celebrity golf tournament, and Justin Timberlake was standing there on his way, having just played the 9th hole, and he was signing some autograph for some ladies there in the crowd. And after he signed them, he looked away and then looked at Jeremy with the look of like, "Hey, do you want an autograph?" And Jeremy said he just kind of shrugged and was like, "Nah." And Justin Timberlake dropped his head and just slowly walked to the 10th tee.
I love it.
I love it that he just broke Justin Timberlake's heart there.
Yeah, I do too. I love this one from Ashley, where she and her family were in Chicago. Ashley was 7.
Okay.
And they missed the chance to have an encounter with Oprah because Ashley was having a total tantrum because her mom was telling her not to drag her feet because she would like wear out her sandals. So right when they walked by Oprah and her dogs, Ashley was like screaming, "You don't love me. You only care about my shoes."
Oh, no.
And didn't get to talk to Oprah.
Ironically, that's what Annie said last time she broke up with her last boyfriend. You don't love me. You only care about my shoes.
I
don't want to tell you the story behind
That's
that.
good, Cameron.
You
That's
don't
good.
love me. You only love me for my shoes. A Lifetime
That's
original
right.
movie.
That's right.
Allison said that she saw Gator great Tim Tebow at the Atlanta airport. He clearly was not into talking because he had headphones on. He was given the vibe, but she couldn't handle it. And she approached and asked if they could get a picture. He was, of course, very gracious. However, I love the picture because she was so nervous. She shared the picture. She's so nervous that her glasses got all foggy. And so the picture's really funny because they look really excited. And Tim Tebow looks like he's in an airport being asked to take a picture and trying hard to stay cool.
Yeah. That's a look. That's for sure a look.
Also, oddly, on a PBS server. So I guess Ashley works at PBS or something, but this picture came off a PBS server.
I like this one from Zach because the Zach and his at the time fiance, they they are bold. Like they're about to have a wedding, and they want the greatest guest list ever. So this is what Zach says. He says George W. Bush went to the church where I used to be where I used to direct the youth choir. He said I was getting married, and his wife had already emailed an invitation to the Obamas. This is at the time where the Obamas were in the White House. So he kept an invitation for George and Laura Bush in his choir folder for weeks until they were finally there. So I love it that he has some connection to George W. and Laura Bush, that they go to the same church, but his wife had already sent one to the Obamas at the White House to come to their wedding. Because who knows? Right. He walked up to George, shook his hand, and told him and Laura, I'm getting married, and my fiance invited the Obamas, but we can totally fix the seating chart however you'd like.
Are they going? Did they go to the wedding?
He said they did RSVP within 24 hours. The answer was no.
Have I told y'all my story about my worst celebrity encounter at the K-Love Fan Awards?
No, I would love to hear it.
Okay, this will be so fast.
Yeah, I love this.
Eddie, I've told you, right?
Yeah, I love it.
So when it was a couple of years ago when I was nominated for a fan award, and there was a Christian celebrity musician in line in front of me at the step and repeat.
Whoa.
I did tell you this, right?
No, hold on. You were nominated for a K-Love Fan Award?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Book of the Year, and one of my books got nominated 2 years ago.
Annie.
I know, right? I lost. It's fine.
Who did you lose to? Who won?
I lost to the guy who wrote 5 Love Languages, Gary Thomas.
That book's been out for 30 years.
It was another book.
Gary Chapman. Okay. Chapman.
It was Gary Thomas. It was not Gary Chapman, whoever. Anyway, here's the story. There's a musician in line in front of me at the step and repeat where you take a picture for Getty Images.
Who?
I'm not telling you,
Toby
but
Mac.
they will never be on my podcast because
Toby Mac.
what happened is he's taking his pictures.
Yeah.
And then it's my turn. And so the photographer motions for me to walk to the step and repeat to have my picture taken. And the musician turns to me and says, "Oh, did you want a picture with me?" And I was like, because I don't.
Yeah.
And the photographer says, "No, I'm taking her picture." And he says, "Oh, are you somebody? Are you somebody?"
Oh.
And I was like,
Toby Mac.
Brother, you are never one time coming on my podcast. The idea
now is the time to say
I wasn't a somebody.
It was a male.
Oof.
Solo artist or group? Solo or group?
Or solo, formerly a group, and formerly in a group.
I'm not answering this. You can just watch who I have on my podcast, and you will never see him ever. I'll have everyone
a lot
else.
of people.
I bet.
Well, that's
now
the
is the
three of y'all.
time.
So
This is accountability. That person needs to be publicly shamed right now, so they never do this again.
Jesse, you and I both know that these step and repeat photographer people, all those photos live on the internet somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
yeah.
We
So if you
use
can
them
figure
for the
out who was
magazine.
right in front of me somehow.
Oh,
it's
probably pretty easily.
yeah.
Okay.
I
We're
just
gonna
Yeah,
salute that
I'm trying
right
to think
now.
who
If
would
you
be
pull the picture, I'll tell you the truth.
The
But I don't know how you're
hubris.
going to figure out who is right in front of me.
the hubris. Who?
because they
who
do all
strikes
these
you
Getty
as-
images and stuff. They're just
can you
rolls.
imagine saying,
We can almost animate them.
"Are you somebody?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The lack of awareness. This person lives in a bubble and has for a long time. This is a legacy. This is a legendary CCM artist. This is not a new one. It's not next gen. This isn't for King and Country. This is an older one.
No, because that would have been an Australian accent.
Is it Michael W.
W.
Smith?
Smith. That's exactly
I
what
think
was thinking.
Smitty's nicer than that. I think you got to think about who is completely wrapped up in their own vanity.
Oh, now I have names, but now I'm not going to say them because I'm basically
Yeah, I'm
just
never
saying
gonna
who
say
I think
yes.
is wrapped up in their own vanity. But
Yeah.
But I'm going to text you, Annie. I think I solved it.
Hold on. Did this person
I'm gonna-
recently write a book?
I don't know.
CCM.
I don't
If I
know.
hold up a book, will you tell me?
No.
Just offline. We won't say the
No,
name
she said.
publicly.
No. I love him. The book you're holding up, I love that
Because
book.
he
And
was-
he's
Who
already
is
been on the
that?
show, and I love that guy, Mike Donahue. I
That's
adore him.
right. He has been on the show.
Yeah, I
knew
love
that.
him.
All right. Well, that'll do it for your feedback. There's a lot more where that came from. Go
Is
check
the
it
person
out
a horse lover?
online.
An enthusiast for sure.
Okay, that'll do it for last week's feedback. Now it's time for this week's.
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
Well, earlier in the show, we were talking about Jesse's proclivity for horse loving and how he wants to demark it on his vehicle. for all to know and share.
For the small
And-
price of $5.
I got to think about vanity
that
license
will go
plates.
to an unclear charity.
and and we want to know for this week's question of the week, what is the funniest, craziest, oddest vanity plate you've seen in the wild? Bonus points for pictures. And if not, if you haven't seen any crazy ones, what's one you would get that would skirt by the law, but would identify you in a brandable way that you would want on your vehicle for years to come? Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or post your longer replies on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
What would you guys get?
Like number one Magic fan or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure you would.
I wouldn't
silly
get
like that.
anything like that's identifying of me, like Big Cat.
Of course you would.
I would just have like
you don't want
Big
people
Cat.
knowing who you are.
That would fit perfectly.
Dude, Big Cat with a K.
Yeah. See, it's a good idea, but it's not. It just makes me feel weird to drive around like that. Like, Annie, you
And
go.
people know.
Sounds fun. SNDS FM.
Yeah, you could do that.
I would do it. But I already am like easy to identify because it's a Dolly Parton plate and a University of Georgia sticker. Like everybody knows.
And because
when
you're
I'm in town.
somebody.
Well, no, because I'm Dolly Parton and I'm Dolly Parton.
I was just
and
referring
Georgia.
to your story. I know
Oh, I am somebody. Yes, you're right.
Sorry, you are somebody, but
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to embarrass
Are
you.
you somebody?
Jesse,
Oof.
what would
Are
you? What would your
someone?
license plate be,
It would
Jesse?
just say sassy. And I would use a Sharpie to draw
Horse
an exclamation
enthusiasts.
point.
Oh,
I always love that when
that's
people
so
modify
funny.
with a Sharpie, or I make
Right.
the S's dollar signs.
Did
with
you
my
know?
Sharpie.
Did you see that emojis are coming to license plates?
Oh, really?
Like for the vanity
wow.
license plates, certain states are going to allow emojis to be one of the letters.
I'm
that's fine.
picturing the police scanner. They're like, okay, we have a black Chevy Tahoe. It is reported stolen. License plate QR poop emoji cucumber.
I'm looking for the photo
Headed
right
your way.
now in my photo roll, but this spring I was going to an Orlando Magic game in downtown Orlando, and I was behind a very high-end vehicle with blacked out windows, and the license plate said donkey sauce.
great one.
And I was sure I was behind Guy Fieri.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's a
Well,
good joke.
I love that guy.
Was it a Lambo or an H2 Hummer? Because I'm
Oh,
sure
no,
he
no,
owns
It was
both.
like a what is that high-end Chrysler that looks like the Bentley?
Yeah,
It was like one of those blacked out with like black wheels, black
Yeah,
windows.
murdered out. Yeah, that's
Yeah, murdered out.
donkey
That's right.
sauce. That rules.
murdered out?
Said donkey sauce. Okay, so there you go. Many thanks to Jen Hatmaker for joining us. You can follow her on Twitter at Jen Hatmaker if you dare. It's too hot for TV.
She's the
Twitter
best.
feed.
We love.
She's
I
awesome.
really like
He's
her.
awesome.
Also, thanks to Squarespace for making the episode possible. You can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. If you are boating out off the east coast of the U.S. this week, stay safe, everyone, if you're out in the waters, because if you're on land, you're fine, apparently.
And really, only if you're about 40 miles out. If you're just right on the coast of Florida, you're going to be fine.
You're fine.
Enjoy a lovely sunny day.
You're fine. Oh, man. All right. On that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Eddie Kaufholz.
And I'm Annie F. Downs. I'm someone.
We will
really
see you
are.
on Friday.
Thank you.
You are someone, Annie.
Thanks, guys.
It was
We'll see you
definitely
on
Toby
Friday.
Mac.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Get out of bed, stay up, stay out of my head, it's dangerous. And I don't wanna lose my mind, no. I just wanna shine like the sun when it comes up. Run the city from the rooftops. 'Cause today's gonna be my day.
Listen, your camels are coming, bro.
Relevant Podcast Network.